Hello everyone! Guess where I am again? If you haven't guessed from the title, the introduction, and the logo on the top of that building there, I was at the MCM Expo. How fun! And it's the third time now. And I went with a friend, but we basically parted ways pretty much the moment we got there because the line was too long for him and he had some friends he wanted to meet up with outside. But I went there specifically to meet up with this guy called Ashens, or Stuart Ashen, from YouTube to buy his DVD, but it turns out he didn't even show up, so that was kind of a waste of £10. But I went with that lemons into lemonade approach and tried to make the most of it. So I whipped out the old camera and started filming a bunch of stuff to turn into a YouTube video later. So, I mean, I was going to film stuff anyway, but, that's pretty much what I did early, and I got exactly to the second 36 minutes of footage. So, prepare for that, everyone. And by everyone, I probably just mean the Crimson Emo, since he's the only one who watches these. So if you're listening, Crimson, this is pretty much for you. So, hope you enjoy. And there's a guy with a Sonic hat just as I'm saying it's for you. What are the chances? So yeah, last time I went, it was very games-based, so I didn't film much because I was enjoying myself too much to actually film it. And there's Professor Layton in front of me. Anyway, yeah, most of this stuff I was filming, I wasn't even really paying attention. I just had the camera at, head height for the most part. The way I say head height while I'm looking at the floor. What is this about? So, yes. And that was pretty much it. I wasn't really paying attention, so this is kind of all new to me as well. Might be interesting, might be a complete waste of time. So, there you go. In terms of what they actually had there, it was kind of like the first time I went. It was just a bunch of people I'd never heard of, and a bunch of artists whose work I wasn't familiar with, so they had only a few games, like they had Kingdom Hearts 3D, or whatever it's called now, Dream Drop Distance, crazy names, and what else? Yeah, they had Dead or Alive 5, and they had a few things that are already out, which makes no sense, like Ninja Gaiden 3, which isn't even a good game. Ninja Gaiden 1 is one of my favourite games of all time. The second one was okay, not as great by any means, and this third one was just a complete piece of crap. And they were advertising it. It's like, hey, you know that game you didn't buy because it's terrible? Well, now you can play it just after you pay your £10 admission fee. Crazy people. So, anyway. So here's a bunch of people with costumes. See, wow, I've got really awkward time. And the moment I say that, I'm filming two guys who made no effort at all. So, speaking of which, I just went there with a grey t-shirt on. How fun. So, yeah, but like I said, I went there to meet that Stuart Ashen guy and buy his DVD that he said he only has a few copies of. And the moment I got there, they said, I asked where he was, and they said he cancelled at the last minute. I was like, damn, is he going to be there tomorrow? And they said, nope. So there we go. Hopefully he has a good reason, but even if he doesn't, I probably wouldn't want to come to these places if I were in his position. It's like, I'm only going to make maybe like £100 selling a bunch of or crappy t-shirts or whatever he was going to sell. So those are pretty much his words, not mine. So, yes, that's pretty much it. Don't really have much to comment on because there really wasn't much there. So, and again, I split up with my friend pretty much the moment I got there. I tried to do a constant film, so as you'll see, I go from the entrance all the way through the thing. But then the battery started to die, so I turned it off for a little while and just did my own thing. And then, for some reason, even though the battery was dying, if you turn it back on after like 20 minutes of not using it, it has battery in it again. Crazy how that works. But, yeah, so then I just filmed from the exit of this place to the outside of the building, and then the battery died for good. And then that was it. So that's exactly 36 minutes of footage. I pretty much spoilt the ending for you, or the entire thing. But there you go. Maybe there's some costumes there of interest to you. And I'm back. Sorry about that. There was a phone call there. I don't know why I'm apologising, because if I edited it properly, you wouldn't even know I was gone. So, breaking the fourth wall, people. And yeah, so anyone who's watching this who doesn't really care about these anime conventions, I know I've pretty much had 3 videos in a row of these, because that's how, rarely I put out any kind of videos these days. Don't worry, this isn't all I do now. It's just kind of coincidental that, out of my most recent 5 videos, 3 of them are of these anime expos. So yeah, I've got other stuff coming. I mean, nothing particularly special, but don't unsubscribe if this isn't your thing of seeing the backs of people's coats and random tourists. So yes, everything has an audience, I guess. So yeah, again, I haven't really watched any of this footage because the first time I went to this, I didn't do the commentary till about 8 days later, and then the second time I did the commentary several months later. But this, I just got back from this about an hour and a half ago, so I thought I'd get it out of the way. And yep, so this is gonna be a tough one to fill up another 31 minutes of commentary because there was nothing there. How about I multitask? While you watch what's on screen, I just give you a little update on what's been happening with me, because you know you give a crap, because the people who are either watching this are people who were at this place and just want to see if anyone, if they show up in the footage or whatever, or viewers from my previous videos who are like, I want to know what he has to say. I'm guessing that's the minority of the group, if anything. But there you go. Let's see, just still working at the same place I've been working at for 4 years. How fun. Funny thing is that started off as a 6-week task, or a 6-week trial, and then it ended up being like a 6-month thing till the end of the academic year. And now I'm going on 5 years now. How crazy. I would tell you specifically where I work, but I don't want creepy stalkers or murderers or whatever it is people do these days in their spare time. So on a games front, since I kind of went here hoping there would be a bit more in terms of games, I've been playing, I just bought that Dirt Showdown. This is probably going to date this quite a bit because it just came out a couple of days ago, and I got it 3 days early actually, so I finished it before it was even technically out, and entered a competition and actually won. I mean, it was only a competition out of 5 people, but I still won. Don't take that victory away from me, damn it! A victory is a victory. And I won either a t-shirt or Microsoft points, but the t-shirt, there was 2 different t-shirts, and one was a size below me and another one was a size above me, so I went with the Microsoft points instead. So there you go. And also in my previous video like this, I mentioned Trials Evolution and how that was my most anticipated game of this year, and it did not disappoint, unlike Saints Row the Third, which I was waiting for 3 years and it ended up being the biggest disappointment of last year. Trials Evolution was absolutely amazing. It was everything a sequel should be. It was better in every single way. I mean, the music was questionable. You know, I kind of preferred the background kind of music from this Trials HD. This one was a bit more in-your-face punk rock kind of stuff. But you can turn it off and play your own music, so that's absolutely no complaint, really. And yeah, so apart from that, you know, everything else about it was absolutely amazing and improved significantly. And in fact, Trials HD was one of my top 10 games of all time, and playing that again after finishing Trials Evolution, it was practically unplayable. Kind of like how the Tony Hawk's games have evolved up until a certain point, you know, trying to go back to Tony Hawk's 1 or 2 after playing Tony Hawk's Underground 2, it's pretty tricky. So, oh yeah, on a very different note, again, this is going to date this severely, but on Wednesday, the 30th of May, the one just coming up, Sega are re-releasing Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3 as a online, or as a trilogy with online co-op. So that's pretty much my childhood complete there. It's come full circle. Because I bought an Xbox 360 because Streets of Rage 2 was on there with online co-op, but then it ended up having like really severe delay for whoever was player 2, which was a bit of a shame. And now they're re-releasing it, and a new company's doing it, not that crappy Backbone company that can't seem to port anything worth a damn. It's made by a company called M2, so I have really high hopes and pretty much expectations that it's going to be perfect. So finally, everything has come full circle an entire 4 years after I bought the console back in June 2008 for some online co-op in Streets of Rage. So good stuff there. And also they're doing Golden Axe, but I was never a huge fan of that. They're releasing the trilogy of that, so yeah, hopefully that's some good stuff there. And then they're releasing Tony Hawk's HD in June or July maybe. They haven't announced a date yet. They just said summer. How ominous! That might be interesting. They've revealed that has online multiplayer, so it should be fun playing some of the levels from 1 and 2. Because it's a remake of some of the best levels, or supposedly best levels, voted by the community from Tony Hawk's 1 and 2. Also, Sonic 4 Episode 2 just came out a few weeks ago, and it wasn't that bad. You know, I really wasn't expecting anything, because the first one was pretty much a piece of crap. I don't care what anyone else says. There was pretty much nothing redeemable about that, apart from one level. It was Act 2 of, what do you call it? The casino-y one. I can't remember what it was called, but it was the one where you flip around the cards, and if you get a matching 3, out of the 4 or 5 cards you can choose from, or 6. You get rings or a life or whatever. That was good stuff. But this new one, the co-op was, I'm talking about Sonic 4 Episode 2 here, the co-op was surprisingly good. Because some of the reviews were saying that was the weakest part, but I was playing it online with a stranger, and it just really was a cooperative game. Because even though I'd already got all of the emeralds to become Supersonic, and if you've played any of the old classic Sonic games with Tails, like Sonic 2 or Sonic 3, or Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the moment Sonic becomes Supersonic, whoever was controlling Tails is pretty much out of the picture, because Sonic just turbos past and Tails goes off screen, and you can't even fly back onto the ground, and because you're going so fast. But in this one, even if you've become Supersonic, if Tails gets hit, Sonic loses all of his rings, which is absolute madness, but it works. It really does work, because at one part there's a boss fight against Metal Sonic in the second area, and this isn't really a spoiler because it's obvious. It practically revealed that constantly, that you fight Metal Sonic. You fight him a few times actually, but in this time I turned into Supersonic because they give you 50 rings just before the boss fight starts, because there's an achievement linked to killing all the bosses as Supersonic. But then whoever the guy I was playing with, who was playing Tails, he got hit, and then I became Sonic again. And then the guy who was playing Tails, he frantically tried to redeem himself by collecting all of the rings that I dropped. And also, there were 2 layers to that level. There's a foreground and a background, and I was trying to fight Metal Sonic as Sonic in the foreground, and Tails was in the background collecting all of the rings so I could become Supersonic again. And it was just, I didn't expect it to be that enjoyable. And it really was fun. And then there's a level that they basically ripped straight from Sonic 2, where Sonic is on top of Tails' little plane, and Tails controls the plane, and Sonic can freely jump off of it and lock onto the enemies and destroy them. And again, that was just really fun. And there's a bit when Metal Sonic is in an airship and he's firing these cannonballs at you, and if you time it right, you can actually jump and knock the cannonballs back at Sonic. So the person who was playing Tails, he was flying the plane back and forth to watch out for all the bad guys, and positioning it so I could knock back the cannonballs at Metal Sonic or whatever. And it was so enjoyable. I didn't expect it to be anywhere near that enjoyable. And I think if they made it so that Sonic, Sonic was Supersonic and invincible, it wouldn't have been as fun. So, and they added a bunch of areas that you have to actually wait for Tails, which again, that some people don't like. But I thought it worked. If you're playing single player, it might be a bit annoying because you just want to rush through those levels with speed, and you don't want to wait for the AI, and it's a bit annoying. But if you're playing co-op, it does stop you from just turboing through the levels and leaving whoever's playing as Tails in the dust. So yes, good stuff indeed. I'm actually kind of hoping they make a third part just to kind of finish everything off. So, and also it wasn't a complete rip-off of Sonic 1 and 2 levels. I mean, they had a few really strong homages, and some might call them just carbon copies, but some of it was new, especially a couple of the boss fights I'd never seen done before in a Sonic game. So they actually tried. I applaud them. Hooray. What else? I mean, I still don't think it was worth 1,200 points, though. It should have been 800 points, undoubtedly, at most. But, I still bought it. I don't really regret paying the extra £3 or 400 Microsoft points, whatever you want to call it. Oh, yeah, and on a different note, I bought a PlayStation Vita. So, because I bought a 3DS on the day of release, and it just was so disappointing. It was ridiculous. Just nothing about it was even remotely interesting. It even had a lower resolution screen than the PSP. It came out about 6 or 7 years before, so that's just unbelievably pathetic. And I bought the PlayStation Vita, and from pretty much the day I got it, I was blown away by what it did, because I knew it could play 8-way party chats, kind of like Xbox Live, the way one person, like if you have a strong friends list on there, one person could be watching a movie or listening to music or playing something else entirely to what you're doing, and you can still talk to them while you're doing other stuff. And it's got built-in Skype, so you can play a game and then you get a Skype call, and like a little message will pop up in the corner saying, this person's trying to contact you, and you can pause your game and talk to them on Skype. But that one you have to actually be either playing the game or in Skype. You can't do both at the same time. But if if they're on your PlayStation friends list, you can talk to them, just talk to them while playing other stuff, and it's really is good. And not only that, you can even play your own music while you're playing other games, which for a handheld machine I didn't even think was possible for some reason. It actually blew my mind. So I was playing like Ninja Gaiden Plus on there, and just playing my own music, and it was really surreal because it was this action game while I'm playing the soundtrack to DJ Hero, and then Flight of the Conchords and a few other things. It was just really insane. And also Uncharted as well, and it just made the entire thing so much more enjoyable. And it's got a really good internet browser. You can't watch videos, which is a bit of a shame on it, but you can download things. So say if you're on a website with a podcast you want to listen to, you can't actually listen to it directly, but you if it has a download link, you can actually download the MP3, and it will download in the background while you're doing whatever else you're doing. And even if you buy things on the marketplace, you can do what Xbox Live does and download files from the marketplace and have a whole entire bunch ready, and it will download in the background while you're playing a game or browsing the internet or whatever. And then when you go back to the dashboard or whatever they call it, all of the things you downloaded will install bit by bit. Because even the PlayStation 3 doesn't do that very well. Because when something's finished downloading, you have to go into it to install it, and it takes ages, and it's just a whole big nightmare. And some games you can't play while stuff is downloading. I really think they kind of did a bad thing with the PlayStation 3. They didn't really design that properly. And it is kind of embarrassing that the PlayStation Vita, which is a little handheld machine, can do two major things that the PlayStation 3 can't. Like it can have 8-way party chats, and you can play your own music while you're playing games. It's insane, because on the PlayStation 3 you can only talk to people who are in the same game as you. And as for music, you can only play custom soundtracks in games on the PlayStation 3 that the creators have specifically programmed it to let you to do. And the only game I know of is Gran Turismo 5, so that's a bit of a shame. So this portable system, you can talk to anyone you want while you're playing any games, and listen to music while you're playing any games. It's just insane. And even browsing the internet, it's kind of fun, because you're just browsing the internet while listening to your own music. It's little things, I know, but it goes a long way with me. And like I was saying, you can't watch videos or anything like that while you're browsing the internet, but you can download it if there's a download link. And also it can play up to 720p video, as long as it's MP4 though. This is just sounding like like a promotion for PlayStation Vita, but I just got it a few weeks ago, and I'm still just amazed at what it can do. It's ridiculous. So, and the touch screen as well. I never really, the only experience I have with touch screens is Nintendo DS, and then the 3DS, and those were okay. But once you realize that this screen can handle up to, like, I think 4 or 5 fingers on screen at once, because it's called a capacitive touchscreen, and it's so easy to do. It's not resistive where you need a pen. You can just wait. Let me just stop. That guy on screen apparently is the person who played C3PO in the suit. So good for him, I guess. But yes, where was I? I know I shouldn't have distracted myself. Yeah, so you can have like 4 or 5 fingers on screen at once, and there's like a little WarioWare game on there called Frobisher Says, where it tells you to do all different things, like put your fingers on screen to plug up the holes or something like that. And it's just really amazing, all the potential you can do. And even the little back screen that most people don't seem to actually like, it has some real potential there. So it's just, that's pretty much all I have to say there. Because I was never really a fan of the PlayStation 3, because you have to install every game and it takes ages, and just the way everything's done. Even when you download the demo, it has to install. But again, the PlayStation Vita, it downloads everything in the background, even while you're browsing the internet or playing games, and then just whenever you go back to the dashboard, it really quickly loads it all up or installs it all in a row, so you don't have to press anything or do anything. Great stuff. You can even turn it off. That's another. Oh yeah, that's another thing that being an Xbox 360 gamer, you kind of take for granted, is you can turn off the machine, and all of the downloads you've queued up will download while the machine's off, because it will go into like a standby mode. The PlayStation 3 can't do that. You have to be on the machine for your stuff to download. So if you've got a couple of gigabytes worth of stuff, and you don't feel like playing the console, you have to download all of that. And you can't download things while you're watching movies on the PlayStation 3. So I've had stuff on there for months that I just haven't had the time to play the PlayStation 3 to download to use. So you can just put the PlayStation Vita on standby. It will download everything with absolute minimum battery life wasted, and it's just great. So, and every game on the marketplace, I mean every game released for it, is on day one released on the marketplace as well. I mean the price is a bit outrageous, because they are retail prices. Like they've got FIFA Football on there for £45, and in the shops it's like 25 or something if you shop around. So that's a bit of a shame. They have a few good deals on there though. So not the end of the world. And that's pretty good. And you can the memory cards are a bit expensive though. Like I got a 32 gigabyte one for £60, whereas I got a 32 gigabyte micro SD for £18. So that's a pretty big difference here. Yeah, but I think I should probably go back to talking about what's on screen again. I played the only game I actually bothered to play there was Dead or Alive 5, because I've been kind of looking forward to that. I'm not counting down the days or anything, and they might mess it up because the guy who that Tomonobu Itagaki or whatever, he kind of left the company, way before they even had that as a concept, so or begun production on it. So it might be terrible. I played it. It seemed pretty much exactly the same as the rest, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I just hope they do a few new things with it. Maybe add a few characters that are halfway decent. Here I just happened to be walking past this because I'd already played this. I filmed this afterwards because all this footage was done during my second route through. Because I went there myself before even filming because the line was outrageous and the camera I'm using to film this wasn't fully charged, so I only had like about 35 to 40 minutes of footage left or time to film, and I didn't want to spend that just waiting in line to get into the place. So I basically got my tickets, all that kind of stuff, and then just looked around to see what there actually is to strategically film with my limited amount of time. And yeah, so then I just walked out, called a friend to try and meet me at the front to meet up with him, but he was still busy doing whatever he was doing. And yeah, so I just decided to go back in, whip the camera out, and do another journey through. Like I was saying, I just walked past these just as they were beginning to start the match. So I decided to film that. Why not? I mean, there's no sound because I'm talking over it, and the place was just, you couldn't really pick up any kind of sound because everything was just blasting through at the same time. When you got like 80 different conversations going on around you, you can't really pinpoint on any one specific. So it's probably better I'm talking over it. I mean, you can just mute me if you want. Either way, and they had this huge Yu-Gi-Oh area for some reason. I don't know why. In terms of games on display, they had a few Wii games, like they had Rhythm Party or Rhythm Paradise, whatever it's called, the new version of that for the Wii. It's been out in America for a few months. They even had Kingdom Hearts 3D, but the line for that was crazy long, and I just decided to look over some guy's shoulder when I got there, and then I tried filming it later on, but where he was using the 3D and there was screen glare from the lights above, you really can't see much. And they had that lollipop chainsaw as well, but that was another really popular one that everyone was waiting in line for, so I thought, nah, it's probably out in a month or two anyways, and I'm not that bothered. I'm kind of over the whole zombie thing. The only zombie game I seem to actually give a damn about is Dead Rising, and that was kind of the one that started it all, if you think about it, because that came out in 2006, and then suddenly every other company and their mom was making a zombie game. A bit oversaturated now, so... What else did they have? They had a few booths selling things, as you can probably see. That's all they seem to have is merchandise. And it's overpriced as well. You think it would be cheap. I mean, maybe it's cheaper than normal retail, but certainly nowhere near as cheap as buying it online. So just made me think, what is the appeal here? But I've said all that in my first time going here, where you pay £10 to get in to basically be overcharged for a bunch of crap that you probably won't even want. And it was interesting, as I was waiting for my friend by the entrance after doing a route through, all the people that were going in, I didn't film this really, but all the people that were going in had like really anticipated smiles on their face, and all the people going out looked really moody and depressed. So I don't know if that was because they just really had a shitty time, or maybe they were depressed that they were leaving so early. I don't know, but it really did seem a bit strange that everyone going, it's like, oh yes, come on, costumes, video games, pokey, or whatever the Japanese food is that they were trying to shovel in everyone's face. It's like, you buy it, 4 for $3, or £3, or £3, whatever, who cares? Here's another game that's been out for a few months, Connect Star Wars. I don't know why that was the big thing. Maybe it didn't sell well enough, so they had to advertise it a bit more. I was just filming this guy for a little bit to see how the motion controls measured up, but then I got bored of just seeing some slightly overweight guy doing his thing. Yeah, in terms of costumes, I was again on my third time the charm quest to find a lady dressed as Catwoman. Still didn't, but again, I'm not really paying attention to this footage, so maybe I've passed about 15 and just haven't really been paying attention. Can't tell what this game is. I was looking for a title, but couldn't see it. Those guys from the GameSpot UK website were handing out free T-shirts, but I can't be bothered, to be honest. I'd always feel guilty. Like if there were people, well, a great audience. If there were people grabbing or trying to reach for the T-shirt, and I was the one who grabbed it by like an inch from someone else's hand, I really would feel guilty and be like, you have it, because they'd probably just give me all these dirty stares. It's like, I wanted that. It's like, well, I wanted it too, That's kind of the idea. It's supply and demand, baby. Anyway, and here's just a bunch of movie posters. is that Ted, which is apparently that Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, is working on. I don't know if he directed it or wrote it, or is just voicing the bear in it. I don't know. I know he does voice the bear in it, but I'm just saying. Um, that's pretty much it. They didn't have that other area. Normally, or the other two times I went here, they had that other area open where they had like the Dukes of Hazzard car and all that kind of crap. That just seemed to be all blocked off this time, so it was just this one area. Um, oh yeah, Ice Age 4. That surprised me when I saw that, because I don't see why they're making another one. I mean, do people even care about those movies? Are they even popular? Are they just cheap to make or something? Maybe because all you got is like a blue sky, white floor. Someone playing with a little remote control helicopter there, doing it very badly. Ooh, you see my hand, my little salad fingers, and my orange bag. 'Cause I'm styling, baby, yeah. So, yes. Here are some more people on screen. Look at that guy's back. That's quality filming there. A matter of... I couldn't read. So, it's a shame that Ashen's guy wasn't there, though, because I saw some other guy. He was dressed up as one of the characters he makes fun of or whatever, called Chef Excellence. It's some Poundland character that he's really just kind of run with, who makes these stay fresh bags for Poundland, but then he just really took the piss out of him. And now he's kind of made it his own character with a puppet and everything. And I feel sorry for that guy, because he really went to an effort with the character, you know, dyed his hair and mustache and all this kind of stuff. And he didn't show up, so hopefully he takes a photo and puts it on Facebook or something. It's like, this is what I did for you. This is what I did for you when you didn't show up. I hate you. I hate you. But, oh well. Yeah, just here's a very distant look at all the merchandise and a couple of people. So many people went as Pikachu. I really don't understand it. Is that, I mean, that doesn't even seem like an easy costume to do, really. Because you have to, I mean, do you just get a yellow coat and add a few red circles to it or something? I don't know. But like that one you're about to see, I just noticed in the distance. Because I can see into the future, baby. It's like I filmed this myself. There's a huge Pikachu over there with little tiny women's legs. But anyway, it is quite strange. You've got a huge puffy Pikachu outfit, and then they just got a bit half-assed towards the bottom. They're like, fuck it, who cares? I'll just have my feet there. So, and then you see their little, I don't know if I filmed it, but there's like a hole, there we go, a big hole in the mouth where you see their face. It's quite creepy. It's like Pikachu just ate them. Anyway, so that's it. You see a lot of Pikachu costumes, like I was saying. It's just like, really? Is that even a thing? Was he even in black and white, the games? I don't think he was, or maybe... Yeah, I don't care. Don't follow the Pokemons. Or the Pokemon... I don't know what the plural is. Pokemon. Minis. Whatever. Here's some more crappy filming. Alright. I'm not going to get into any kind of directing classes like this. But I've made a similar joke before, so I probably shouldn't keep referencing that. I'm curious what that film is, because I'm so oblivious to films and everything like that. So this 5-year engagement, it stars the guy from How I Met Your Mother, and I think the guy who... He was also in that Muppets movie, I think. I think he even wrote it. It's called Jason Segel or Segal. So, it might be interesting. He seems to be a good actor. What else? Well, yeah, going back to the whole games thing, a lot of games have been delayed till next year for some reason. I guess they're trying to get out of Call of Duty's way again. So you got games like BioShock 3 or Infinite, whatever, and the new Tomb Raider reboot and the Devil May Cry reboot. They've all been pushed back to January or early 2013. And I'm just thinking, is Call of Duty that big of a deal? I mean, it's just one game. Even if everyone does buy it, do people just buy like one game every month or 3 months or something? That you're gonna just close off that entire period and give it to them? I mean, I know last year everyone kind of stuck to their guns and released everything in that last few months, and it was absolutely crazy with how much stuff was coming out, and maybe that's why. But still, if everyone moves their stuff to the first few months of, or the first month or whatever, that's the Chef Excellence guy, the guy that just had the hat and the yellow box. But anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying? Yeah, if everyone moves their stuff to like January or February, it's just gonna be the same thing again. Just same shit, different month. So. I mean, I'm heading back now just because I was trying to find... When I first went in there, I walked past some artwork of is like some really nice artwork or painting of Alice from Alice in Wonderland, but it was like a really surreal take. It kind of reminded me of the Alice from the Alice Madness Returns games by American McGee. And I figured that the only person who's going to watch this footage is a guy called the Crimson Emo, so I was on a hunt to actually find that picture again, because every booth pretty much looks the same. It's all in the same grid format, so that's pretty much what this is. I'm walking back and forth, looking at all the merchandise, going, I know it's around here somewhere. And lo and behold, I found it, right? Because this is where the battery was just about to die. Well, it did die, actually, but then I left it for about 5 minutes, and when I finally found the booth, the camera worked again for like another 30 seconds. Here we go, which is the perfect amount of time for me to get a good shot of it. It's the top right one. There you go. So, and you see this weird woman. She's hugging a little tentacle monster, I'm sure. There's a interesting meaning to that. So yeah, I was actually thinking about buying that, because they have some nice artwork here, but they were all £100 each, and I'm like, they're nice, but I could just film them like that. And I'm sure if I knew his work or his website, he's got images on there. I mean, he's selling little like postcards of the same images, or like £10 posters. Now, I don't know how much the posters were, but they were just like these little posters. So, but yeah, anyway, Crimson, if you were watching that, I hope you liked that. So yeah, I don't think he had posters of that. It was just different artwork. So, I know he had it on a postcard though, but again, the postcard was really expensive, like £5 or £10. I'm like, I am paying that for a postcard, chief. I might have had the prices wrong there, but either way, I know that those paintings were like £60 to £100 each, depending on the size. It was A2 for £60 and A1 size for £100. And I don't know, they were good, but I wouldn't even know where to put it, and blah blah blah. And here we go. Like I said, the camera died again there, and then after like another 10 minutes, I turned the camera on again, and I got another good, well, I wouldn't say good, but about 5 more minutes of footage. So I decided to just pick it up from the exit of the actual building, or the expo itself, just heading through the corridor, back out. So there you go. I mean, this is a bit premature, me wrapping everything up, since there's exactly 4 minutes left. But hopefully you enjoyed this footage, whoever you are watching this, if anyone. I'm sure Crimson is watching this, mate. Hope you're doing well. I know we're not on the best of terms, but you keep it cushy, mate. And there we go. There's the Doctor Who. I just walked past. A few more costumes. I was supposed to be walking on the other side. Wait, no, I wasn't. Because it's like traffic on the left. I'm talking this country here. On the left, you have to walk forward, or everyone walks forward on the left, or some kind of crap like that. But everyone was kind of breaking the law. It's supposed to be everyone on the left walks straight, but nope. Some people were on the left walking the opposite way, which is madness. I say madness. And again, just a little directorial note. I didn't know most of these people. I was just filming them for the sake of filming them. So in case whoever's watching this is like, hey, I know that character. Oh my god. My life is complete because I saw someone who's proportionately wrong for that. I was gonna go a bit offensive there, but did you see that fat Pikachu, for Pete's sake? Pikachu is not a £300 woman with just no effort at all. It's like I saw some mums here as well. It's like they went with their kids and they didn't want to just go without a costume, so they just picked a picture. It's like, oh, that character's cute. I don't know who the hell they are, but I could easily whip up a costume for that. So you see like all these middle-aged women who are completely oblivious to everything that's going on, just dressed as Link or something like that, just because the outfit's cute. And, it was really kind of weird, actually, but I guess that's kind of cool if you have parents who are into this kind of thing and you're into it too. Unless you're at that awkward age where you like Kevin and Perry. It's like, I hate you! I don't even want to know you! I wish I were never born! Or some crap like that, or adopted. Either way, the point is, if you're at that age where you don't want parents to come along with you, and they only have to because you're too young to go alone, I guess that could be embarrassing. It's like, Mom, why have you got to dress like Pikachu or Link? Couldn't you pick something manly or nothing at all? I don't want to be seen with you, let alone people looking in this direction. Anyway, that was a weird and pointless tangent, but there you go. There's some weird woman dressed as Sonic just a few seconds ago. I actually specifically, I was walking past and I saw the back of that and I thought, hey, I should see the front. Because again, I think Crimson's the only person who's going to watch this. Or at least enjoy it in any way. Some weird guy in a gas mask. Hell Hitler! So, again, free hugs. I still don't understand the need for that. And there's some, I don't know what that was on the floor. I think I get a frontal view, and I'm still confused at what the hell I'm looking at there. So, yep, coming towards the end. This is the end. Wow, I lost my voice there. I was trying to do a really high-pitched version of "This is the end," but my voice just went silent. So, some ominous silhouettes where the sun's blocking them. So yeah, will I go back next time? I hear none of you ask. I don't know, maybe. If it's games related, which I think it will be, because that seems to be the recurring theme, is the one in May is just... I don't even know what this one is to, trying to appeal to. There's just nothing there. That's my big complaint about the first time I went. But the one in October seems to be more related to games, because that's when all the big releases are coming out, even though everything's been pushed to, for early 2013. They might have playable demos of all this stuff. So I might go again. No promises, but I doubt anyone would even care. So, but if I do go, I'll be sure to take a camera. Oh, and this is all the people dancing to the caramel dancing thing, because on the left some people were blasting that out of the speakers. And the camera is about to die, so thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and take care.